I want to talk today about something that shows up across many different environments, not just cults, not just religion, not just politics. It shows up in families, workplaces, communities, movements that believe they're doing good, and it's not about ideology, it's about control. My name's Dana Atwood, and I'm a board-certified hypnotist from Portland, Oregon. Today's video is not about telling you what to believe, and it's not about demanding that you leave everything and change your whole life around. It's just about understanding patterns so that if you recognize them, you allow yourself to pause and ask questions. Most controlling systems don't announce themselves as controlling. They often just look organized, purpose-driven, moral, protective. Sometimes they even look loving. And the leaders at the center of these systems aren't always loud or obviously abusive. Often they're charismatic, convincing, certain. What makes a system controlling isn't how it presents itself. It's how it responds to autonomy. One common tactic is discouraging independent thought without outright forbidding it. So you're technically allowed to question, but questioning is framed as selfish, immature, disloyal is a big one, or dangerous. It's a sign that something's wrong with you. So people in these groups and systems, they learn to silence themselves before anyone else has to, because they get the message kind of like in an underlying way. Another tactic is conditional belonging. Approval is given when you agree, when you comply, when you stay aligned. And when you don't, connection cools down, the tone shifts, your access changes. Even if nothing is said outright, the message is clear. Belonging is earned through agreement. Over time, people stop asking themselves, what do I think? And start asking, what's acceptable? Many controlling systems also rely on external authority. They teach the community that the truth lives outside of you, the individual. Perhaps the truth lives within a leader, perhaps in a doctrine or a hierarchy. In a narrative, you're told not to examine too closely. You may hear things like, you're overthinking. Trust the process. If you really understood, you wouldn't feel this way. Your discomfort means you still have work to do. You're not faithful enough. And this slowly trains people to doubt their own perception. Not in a big loud way, just quietly, slowly. Another powerful tactic is fear-based framing. The fear of being wrong, the fear of being excluded, fear of consequences, fear of what happens if the system is questioned. And this message may also be subtle. If this falls apart, something terrible will happen. Fear keeps people compliant long after the original reason for fear is gone, if it ever even existed in the first place. Many systems can also use exhaustion as a form of control. There's always more to do, more to prove, more to fix, more to contribute. When people are tired, they're not ready to question. They just want to survive. Burnout isn't always accidental. And finally, one of the clearest signs of a controlling system is that individuation is punished. When someone begins to think differently or set boundaries or change at all, slow down, step back, they could be labeled as difficult, deceived, selfish, ungrateful is a big one, or dangerous. And not because they are any of those things, but because autonomy threatens control. So if any of this feels familiar, I want to pause here and say that recognizing these patterns does not mean you were foolish. It does not mean you were complicit. It does not mean you supported harm intentionally. It means you're human. And humans are wired for belonging, for meaning, for certainty, and for safety. Control exploits those needs. If you're noticing this in your own life, You don't have to do anything immediately. You don't have to confront anyone. You don't have to run out the door. And you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. The first step is actually much smaller and even safer. It's simply this question: does this system support my autonomy, or does it require my silence? That's discernment. Healthy systems can tolerate scrutiny. They don't collapse when they're examined. They don't require you to abandon yourself to belong, and they don't punish curiosity. If something only works when you don't look at it too closely, that's not integrity, that's fragility. And some of these leaders are afraid because they know it's fragile. So if you recognize these tactics, you're allowed to question the system you've been supporting, whether it's a family, a religion, a workplace, a community, or a movement. Questioning doesn't make you disloyal, it makes you honest. And honesty is where real safety begins. Just take what resonates here and leave what doesn't. You're allowed to think, you're allowed to feel, and you're allowed to move at the speed of safety. If you'd like to schedule a consultation with me, visit atwoodhypnosis.com. And remember, you are enough right now, just the way you are.